Nvidia makes the chips behind almost every AI model. Apple is quietly building a replacement that doesn't need them at all. Everyone thinks AI runs on GPUs. Nvidia dominates that market, worth trillions. But Apple is playing a different game entirely. They're building a new kind of neural network hardware, one that bypasses Nvidia completely, and it could make current AI models obsolete on mobile devices.
The GPU era made Nvidia a giant, but those chips are power-hungry. They generate immense heat. They're designed for data centers, not iPhones.
Apple's goal is different. Run advanced AI directly on a device with tiny battery drain. That requires a completely different architecture. Apple bought Xnor.ai in 2020 for around $200 million. That company specialized in running AI on low-power edge devices. No one blinked at the time. But now it's clear. Apple was buying the key to a new kind of AI engine, one that doesn't need a cloud or a Nvidia chip. That engine is called a Neural Processing Unit, or NPU. Apple's latest A17 and M4 chips pack a powerful one. But the real breakthrough is a new architecture called recurrent memory transformers. It's a novel way of handling AI that doesn't rely on GPUs. Traditional AI models run on GPUs because they do parallel math incredibly fast, but they're inefficient. They waste energy shuttling data between memory and processor. Apple's approach keeps everything on a single tiny chip. It's like a dedicated AI brain, not a general-purpose calculator. Recurrent memory transformers change the game. They compress the AI model's memory. They remember context without needing huge computational power. This means you can run a massive language model on a phone. No internet required, no Nvidia cloud server involved. The implications are staggering. If Apple succeeds, every iPhone becomes a supercomputer. Your phone could run complex AI tasks locally. Privacy improves, speed improves, and Nvidia's chip monopoly becomes irrelevant for the entire mobile industry. That's a multi-billion-dollar revenue shift. Nvidia's market cap is over $2 trillion. That's built on selling GPUs for AI training and inference. Apple doesn't want to buy those chips. They want to build their own. This isn't a rumor, it's a pattern. Apple has been designing custom silicon for years, from CPUs to GPUs to NPUs, and they're hiring aggressively. Job postings for machine learning acceleration architects have surged. Apple is building a team to design the next generation of neural network hardware. The goal is clear: make GPUs optional, even for the most demanding AI workloads. But Apple isn't the only one. Google has its tensor processing units. Amazon has Trainium. But Apple's advantage is vertical integration. They control the hardware, the operating system, and the apps. They can optimize the entire stack for this new AI architecture. The first mainstream product to use this? The iPhone 15 Pro with the A17 Pro chip. It already runs some AI tasks like voice transcription and photo editing on device. That's just the beginning. Future iPhones could run chatbots and creative tools locally. Imagine Siri that never sends your voice to a server. Imagine an AI assistant that can edit a 4K video on your phone. That's the promise of this technology. And it works because Apple's NPU is designed for exactly this kind of workload. It's purpose-built. There's a catch, though. This new architecture is powerful, but it's still early. Training these models requires massive compute. Nvidia still owns the training market, but Apple is working on that too. They've published research on machine learning at the edge that suggests a solution. Apple's solution is to train a smaller, specialized model for each device. Instead of one giant brain in the cloud, each iPhone gets a customized brain. It's more efficient, it's more private, and it doesn't need a data center full of Nvidia GPUs. The chips are already inside the phone. This shift has huge implications for the chip industry. Companies like AMD and Intel are rushing to build their own AI accelerators. But Apple is years ahead. They've been working on this since the A11 Bionic chip in 2017. That chip had a dedicated neural engine, and the numbers suggest it's working. Benchmarks show the M4's NPU can process trillions of operations per second. That's comparable to some desktop GPUs, but it uses a fraction of the power. The efficiency is the killer feature. It's not about raw power, it's about power per watt. Industry analysts suggest this could disrupt the entire AI hardware market. If Apple proves that on-device AI is superior, other phone makers will follow. Samsung, Qualcomm, and MediaTek are already investing, but Apple's lead in custom silicon gives them a multi-year advantage. The biggest risk? Nvidia fights back. They could design a low-power GPU for mobile, or they could acquire a startup that does. But Apple's bet is different. They're not trying to beat Nvidia at their own game. They're changing the game entirely. They're building a new kind of compute. This war is silent. No flashy press releases, no public rivalries. But the stakes are enormous. The next decade of AI will be shaped by this battle. Who controls the silicon, controls the future of intelligence? Apple is betting they can do it without Nvidia, and they might be right. So the next time you use an iPhone, remember, the AI engine inside is Apple's secret weapon. It's a chip that could reshape an industry. The tech world is changing fast, and this is the kind of story you won't want to miss. But wait, there's a deeper secret. Apple isn't just building chips. They're rewriting the math of AI itself. Standard AI uses floating point numbers. They're precise but power-hungry. Apple's NPU uses a new format called block floating point. This cuts memory bandwidth by up to 80%. That means faster, cooler AI on a phone, and no need for a giant GPU server. Think about what that unlocks. Real-time language translation, instant photo editing, all without internet, all on a watch. But there's a catch. This new math is harder to program. Developers must rewrite their models. Apple is betting they will. And that's the final twist. If Apple wins, the GPU becomes a relic. The next trillion-dollar war isn't about chips. It's about who controls the math. Subscribe now to see which tech giant wins this silent war. And watch next week for the full breakdown of Apple's secret AI.